on this computer. Brilliant. And I need to change my view. What view have you got of me, Sean?
You're in the main. You're on the main screen.
I am on the main screen. Okay, I've got someone else hugely on my screen now. It puzzled me then. I'm thinking, what's happening? Fantastic. Okay, so welcome to Social Stars. Most of you I know me, but a few of you might not. So if you don't, I'm Sarah James. I own or part own Soap School, but it's actually only one of the things that I do, because for my entire life, I suppose, from being 16, I've been a serial entrepreneur. And I can't remember a time when I haven't had at least 3 businesses on the go. So, and I'm sure some of you will completely understand that and be the same. If my mind isn't occupied, it's the end of the world for me. got to be busy. So the reason that I brought this program together was that I absolutely love AI. And back in 1985 and 1986, I actually went to college for 2 years and I studied artificial intelligence. That was what I took at college. And right back then, it was in its absolute infancy. And when I say infancy, I learned to code in 7 languages. And it was robotics programming that we were doing. And back then, you had to write every line of code yourself. There were no code books, there were no programs to do it for you. You sat at the computer and you wrote the code and you tested each section. It's very, very different now. And actually, you can use ChatGPT to actually even write your code for you. It's one of the things it does. So it's quite funny. You're gonna have to let her in, Sean. We lost our beautiful dog just this last week, and the other dog is still really pining, so she just likes to be around us. So she's going to sit under my desk, and she'll just be part of our family. So really, it's come full circle for me, because now I'm really immersed back into artificial intelligence again. But it's not the robots that build your cars and, you know, all of those things, those automation machines. Now the robots are right in your computer, and it's something that everybody can access. You don't need a lot of information. You don't need masses of tools. It's super, super simple for you. And it is literally going to transform everything that you do. You need to think of it not as something scary and something unknown. Just treat it literally as a tool. So if we think of other tools that you use, like spell checkers, for example, you've probably used them all of the time. They are a form of artificial intelligence. If you think about the things that you use on your phone, you know, the filters and all of the other things, they also use artificial intelligence. You just don't think of them in that way. When you use a word processor, it's crunching away and doing all sorts of things in the back end for you, and formatting and tidying up. It's another tool. And the tools that we're going to be using are exactly the same. They're just another tool. So I don't want you to think of them as big, scary things. They really are going to simplify your life. And what we're basically going to be doing is putting little seeds or ideas into them, just little starting points of ideas that you might want to use for your social media posts. And it's going to basically think of, once you put that little seed into your computer, imagine that inside that computer, you've got an entire workforce of people just waiting to help you to develop that little seed of information and transform it for you to free up your time, but get all of those tasks done. And it's super, super exciting. Well, I think so anyway. So pop into the chat for me and let me know if you are using any AI tools at the moment. I'm not talking about your phone and things like that. But have you used something like ChatGPT, or Bing now has chat facilities, and quite a few others are now rolling out. And by the end of this year, you're going to see them in almost every application that you use. So you're not going to be able to get away from them. This is the new thing. They are going to be in every part of your daily life. But I'd love to know who's already actually using them, and if you are, which one. Just pop it into the chat for me. So the way that we're going to work over the next 4 weeks is we're going to have a session like this every week. We'll keep it on the same day for people so that it's nice and simple, and it will always be at 7 o'clock. Now, life gets in the way, and there may be times when you can't hop in and do it live. I get it, and we are recording it for you. So don't worry about that. But it is going to be so much easier for you if you can come on and do it live, because I actually want you immersed in this and actually taking part. So rather than just listening to me, you'll be listening to me ramble for parts of it, I'm sure. You can't get away from that. But I really, really, really want you to be actively doing things as well. So, you know, sometimes when you're trying to do something new, it's a little bit scary. But if you can hop on when someone's there, it's so much easier, because I can help you if you get stuck, or someone else can help you. This is a community. It's not just me teaching, and I want you to think about this as a community. So we've got a private Facebook group for you. The best place to learn about social media is, guess where? On social media. So that group is going to be your lifeline over the next 4 weeks. And we will be putting lots of different types of content in there for you. You'll see lots of guides going in there, PDF guides. There'll be some small videos. I'll be sharing prompts and even tools in there. So you do need to be going in there, or you're really, really going to be missing out. If you do have any questions this evening, please, please just put a Q, if you can, in front of the question, and then at certain points I'll stop and get to them, or Sean will alert me that I need to stop because he's a sweetheart, and we can go over them together. So in this first week, I thought we'd talk about creating a social media plan, and just talking through some of the elements of social media. And then I want you actually diving in, if you can. If you haven't been able to set up your account on ChatGPT yet, you're not obviously going to be able to do that, but I'll do one on my screen so that you can follow along, and then you can do it step by step as soon as possible afterwards, so that everything's nice and fresh in your mind if you can. So the first thing that we need to think about is defining your goals. I'll come on to what we're going to do on the other weeks at the end of the session. But the first thing that we need to do is to define our goals. What do we actually want to achieve through having a social media presence? And that can be very different from one person to another. So some people want to have a community. They want it to feel that it's almost like a family within their brand. Some people want brand awareness, and some people just, the only thing they want is increased sales. But the reality is that you get increased sales when you increase your brand awareness and you increase your customer engagement. So they all three really interlock. But when you're creating a goal for your business, you need to make sure that it's very clear, very specific, and you've got a specific goal in mind. You can't just kind of have it loose and open and just throw anything up there. You can't just throw spaghetti at the wall and hope it's going to stick. We need to be quite measured in how we move forward. And one of the things we need to do is to really think about who your ideal customer is, your target market. What do they like doing? What kind of sites do they hang out on? What kind of things do they laugh about? What do they talk about when, you know, if you do events, what do they talk to you about? What makes them happy? What are they saying in their feedback? Because understanding your audience is going to really help you to create content that they resonate with, and that will drive the engagement. Now, sometimes you don't know. You might not have a business yet. You might be just starting out and trying to plan everything. And if that's you and you're right at the beginning, or you don't have a lot of followers yet, then you can really use your social media to build out part of the structure of your business and include people along that journey, because the more that you allow them to engage with you and be part of your process, the more they're going to feel part of that business. They'll literally feel that they've helped you build the business, that they've helped you make the soap. But they can only do that if you include them and allow them to actually part of your ecosystem. So do try and be as open as you can. Now, I know that there's going to be a ton of you out there that are introverts. If you're an introvert, let me know in the chat. I'm sure that there's going to be quite a few. And believe it or not, I am so introverted, you wouldn't believe it. And here I am live with you. But honestly, you've no idea. If I never had to speak to someone, never had to pick up a phone, it would be, but that isn't life. And a lot of us are introverted, and it doesn't mean that we can't be on social media. It doesn't mean we can't be successful in business, but we have to be measured, we have to be careful, and we have to be thoughtful about what we put out there. You can't put your whole life out there. And this is what some people think social media is. You know, they think it's like a running commentary from when you get up to when you go to bed. And the only thing you might exclude is sexual activities. And some put that in as well. That's not social media. That's a psychopath. That's a little bit different. You're sharing things that are actually relevant to your customer, things that they can understand and connect with, something that helps them to understand who you are as a person and why your brand is the right brand for them. So there are lots of different things that you can, I hear you, Kate. There are lots of different things that you can do to engage people and be personable with them and really authentic with them as well. I think that's a really important part of it, is just being you. You don't need to pretend to be anybody else. You are more than enough just as you are. And bit by bit, you'll grow your confidence in doing this, and you'll really get into a rhythm of the kind of posts that you like putting out there, what people like hearing from you. They'll tell you, they'll talk to you as you build that community. So you might be thinking, well, there's all of these platforms, I don't have much time. Well, there are loads of platforms, but you don't have to be on them all. And you could think to yourself, well, which is the best platform for me? And I actually think that is definitely something that you can think of. But when you're first starting out, I think the easiest way to do it is to think about which social platform do you like being on? Because if you're already on there and looking at things and watching videos and commenting and liking and sharing to your friends, if that's where you're hanging out, that's where you're already comfortable. So you're more likely to actually go in there and get some stuff done than a platform that you've no idea about and already feels daunting for you. You can always add more platforms over time, but for the beginning, just start with one and get good at doing it and being consistent. And then you can maybe start adding on some other platforms and other forms of media afterwards. So it doesn't need to be complicated at all. And I promise you, I'm going to be showing you ways that you can actually create large amounts of your posts. And then I can't remember which week it is, but one of the weeks I'll be showing you how to actually schedule everything as well. So you can create everything for a month or two, literally in a day, and have everything scheduled up there. And I'm saying a day, you should actually be able to do it in a couple of hours and have the whole month or more done. It really doesn't take long. I can do over a full year, absolutely everything in less than a day. So you really will be able to do this. Was there a question?
I suppose I'm ever worried about falling and everyone watch me fail. So that's fair to social media.
But you know,
It's a fair point.
it is a fair point, but it's not about failure. So, you know, I've been making soap for 30 odd years, over 30 years. I still have completely failed batches. I'm not perfect. I've still got things to learn. I think the day that we stop learning and we do everything perfectly, it would be such a boring time. So don't think of it as failure. Every time that there's something that doesn't go quite right, it's a learning opportunity for you. But just as importantly, the people who might be seeing some of the mistakes, I spell things wrong all of the time. I don't care. So what? As long as you can read it and understand what I'm putting down there, that's fine, move on, you know? And that's exactly the same for your people. There are always going to be people who are nitpickers and picking apart every single thing. But they're not going to be the people who are going to help your business. They're the people who want you to fail. They don't want to see you succeed. So you just ignore them and you stick with the people that are your people. You're not going to please everybody in this world. You can make the perfect soap, absolutely the perfect soap, and 9 people out of 10 will love it, and there'll be the 10th person who hates it. Do you reformulate everything in your business for that one person? Hell no. They can go and buy from someone else. So you only have to appeal to your people. And there are plenty of people who will 100% love you. And that's why we're doing all of the posts and the social media, is to help people know, like, and trust you. It's building that relationship, building an understanding of what you believe in and what you stand for.
All right. Next question. What are the copyright implications if you are creating content from ChatGPT?
Well, ChatGPT isn't taking other people's content. It's learnt the concepts from digesting over 10% of the entire internet. So it knows a huge amount about all sorts of different topics. And when you put something in there, it's not going to somebody else's information and copying that. It's generating unique content for you. But I would always suggest that you take that content and pop it into a plagiarism checker, which is free. Just do a Google search for a plagiarizer checker, and it will show you every single time that it is not plagiarized, it's unique content. But it's a very, very valid question.
Other question is, do you think Pinterest is a good social platform to use, especially when using
No,
image-based?
it used to be, but earlier, well, at the end of last year, they changed all of their algorithms, and it's so hard now to get ranks. They're not pushing you out in the same way that they did before. You're just not going to get the traffic. So by all means, you can use it, but you just will not see the returns that you did previously by using Pinterest. So it would be something that you add on later, but not your primary platform. And all of these platforms are constantly changing and adapting their algorithms and what's important to them. If you're creating something on Instagram, for example, Instagram is very, very much visually based, but Instagram started just with pictures, photographs. And now they don't give you any real rankings at all for your photographs. They want you all doing reels and stories, which are small video clips, tiny little video clips. And that's what's getting all of the reach. So the people who are doing reels and who are doing stories, that's what they're pushing out and promoting to more people. If you just use Instagram to put photos up on, you're going to get nowhere fast. You're just not going to get the reach, because they're not going to look at it and say, oh, this is great, all of these people will love this content. They're not interested in pictures, and they've made it clear that's not what they're interested in. So yes, you can put your pictures up there, but use them to create reels and have it as a secondary thing where you've just got it almost like a picture gallery. But it's the reels and the stories which are going to get you seen, especially good if you're wanting a local audience, actually. But another beauty of using Instagram is that you can literally just click a button and it will repost it to your Facebook channel. So when you get to the point where you're comfortable with one, it's going to be super easy for you actually to repurpose that content. And now you've got two platforms going.
Someone's asking, what is a reel?
A reel is literally just a small video, a vertical video format, and they don't last for very long at all. But in a reel, you can put lots of different pictures or images or little tiny clips of videos together. So it's like
the old Vine.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on, because I want you actually using this tool, and I need to talk to you about some of the other bits and pieces first. So the first thing we need to do is to have some context to our content. We don't want to literally just produce anything and pluck it from the air and just throw it up there. It has no meaning and it won't serve you well at all. So we want to first think about what you're going to put up. And you should have all had access to a planner guide that we put into the Facebook group for you. Now that brings me on to something else. Has everybody now signed up for the Facebook group? Because if you haven't, you are going to miss out on so much stuff. Oh, look, there's a little one, a little fur ball. Beautiful. So make sure that you do sign up for the Facebook. You should have had an email through from us. If you haven't, it may be that your email address that you use for your Facebook account is different to the one that you purchased with. And just let us know and we can send you another invite link and let's get you up there so that we can really help you. Okay, so I need to bring up, I'm going to bring it up on the screen. Which one was it, Sean? Not that one. Where is it? Not that one. Where's the?
Okay, go to share screen.
Why is that stuck in the damn middle of everything? Okay, so it's not there. Oh, it's here. It's at the bottom. I can just bring it up. Duh. Okay, let's do it this way. All right, so this is what I pop. Oh, I got Sean actually. He's a good helper. I got Sean to pop this into Facebook for you earlier, and it's a weekly post planner. So let's have a look, she says. Oh, have I got to scroll? I've got to scroll. Okay, so I've put up the first week, and you can roll this out to as many weeks as you want to. So if you want to sit down and plan the whole month in one go, absolutely go for it. But I wanted to kind of dissect a little bit about how we actually put these together. So you've got all 7 days here, but when you start the week out, you want to give it a theme or some kind of content. What is the product that you want to promote for that particular week? And rather than trying to do loads of different things, it really, really makes so much sense to pick a specific topic or product. So I've given some context and then I've given you some examples and I've broken it down more and more and more as you go through the guide. So the first thing that we want to do is to pick a product, and then we're going to share a photo of that particular product and then tell the people why they need it in their life, what is special about that product. It may be, so on the example at the side here, I've given an example and said, share a photo of your new spring fresh soap. So if you are a soap maker, and I know not everything is relating to soap, we have people from lots of different professions here, and I have put examples of other things for you into the guides as well. But anywhere where this says soap, you could put that as, you know, necklaces, bracelets, marketing campaigns, Lego bundles, whatever it is that you're selling, just change this to whatever your product is. And then tell your audience why they need it in their life. Make sure that you've got a clear call to action. So by call to action, we want them to take action in some way. We want them to do something at the end of every post, whether that's commenting, liking, checking out a little article that you've written that gives more information, buying the product, whatever it is. And always make sure that there's something there so that they can actually go to your website and buy the product easily. But what we're not trying to do is to create every single post all week about buy my product, buy my product, buy my product. Because why would anyone keep going there if that's the only thing that you're talking about? So the first day, let's say that we've got this brand new spring product, we want to feature it, we want to tell them all about it. But the next day, we want to still stay on that product. We don't want to jump around all of the time because we want to be able to show it in different ways and talk about it in different ways. So now we're putting a little bit of humanization into the product, and we're going to do a behind the scenes post. And this is about you actually making the product. It could be about you packaging the product or stamping or whatever it is. It's bringing that connection between you actually making the product in some way, or, you know, it's not just a mass manufactured product. What we're trying to get across here is you and the care and the attention and the quality and the love you have for this type of product and how you want it to transform their lives in some way. So we could show a small video. You can literally just use your phone. And if you're really nervous about being on camera at first, that's fine. Put it on a little tiny tripod at the side, stick it on a pile of books if you don't have a tripod, and literally just have it filming what you're doing in front of you. You will get more confident in time, I promise you. And there are some amazing trainings out there about confidence on camera that will help you too. And I'll put some links up to those in the group for you. So once we've done a behind the scenes post, you can talk to them about the scent, or you can talk to them about one element of the product. If you were doing something like necklaces, or you were doing crystals, then you could talk to them about the, you know, the specific crystal or the properties or where that stone came from, or the polishing process. There's so many ways that you could put this in here. Wednesday, it's about educational posts. So then it's about facts. So it could be that you're talking about the ingredients or the particular materials that that product is made from, or any benefits for you actually choosing to use those. Oops. And then Thursday is about customer focus. So you want to make it about them and sharing images of that they've shared with you about, you know, them with the product, whether that's them opening it and how excited they are to receive the product from you, or a review or testimonial that they've given you on a product. And I know at first it can be really hard because you might not have too many, but you can build in some kind of information. So at first, when you've got nothing at all and you're just starting, talk about your favorite products, or get one of your family members to write something up or tell you about what they like about it. And then you can explain to them about that. And then Friday is fun. Fridays are generally a day when you don't get a lot of traffic on your social media. I think it might depend where you are, but Fridays are a day when everyone's just getting ready to get out of work and start enjoying life. And they're not on social media as much. So make it light and make it fun. So that's tips, that's tricks, that's fun stuff. It could be memes, GIFs, putting questions out there that are just light and ready for that kind of, oh, thank God the week's over kind of thing. And then the weekend, we're into human touch. So it's about being a little bit more personable with them, and maybe just having an informal chat with them, telling them how your week has been, what kind of things you've done, where have you gone. You could even do this while you're walking the dog and literally just have your phone there and just chat to them while you're walking, show them the area that you live in and bring in that human element. But you can also use this to tease out information about what you're going to be covering next week, or the product that you're going to be featuring next week. And I've gone through that example as something like a jewelry maker. So you've got a different format there. And then I've also put a template in here so that it gives you the kind of ideas of things that you're going to need for each of the days. And then you've got some actual blank prompt guides or template guides where you can actually start putting bits and pieces in there. So there's lots of ideas for you. And you don't have to follow this. If you feel confident and you're ready to do something completely different, 100% go for it. But this framework is really, really going to help you to focus and make sure that you've got a good variety of topics and information. So we want human posts, we want some promotional posts, and we want things that are going to engage them, as well as helping them understand you and your business. So remember, you are sharing stuff about yourself, but not too much. So try and keep it in context with your business, but still being open and personable with them. And I think you'll be absolutely fine. So Rachel says, could you post a competition to drum up engagement? Yes. Contests and competitions can be a really, really good way, especially early on. It's a great way to generate interest. Just don't give away all your profits doing them. It has to be a little bit of balance. But yes, absolutely, that's great. What else we said? Okay, so now I'm not sure if it's Nazia or Natsia. Nazia?
Yeah, Nazia.
Thank you. Smashing. Okay, so you've said, what if you're a brand and you sell a service, not a product? Absolutely, it's exactly the same. So talk about the service, talk about how that service can help somebody, and then dive deeper into different aspects of that service and how or why someone would choose to actually take that up from you. It's exactly the same, you're just relating it in a slightly different way. So look at the pain point that the person has. What is it that they're struggling with? How does that service help them in some way? So today, for example, we got a leaflet dropped through the door, and it was a service for someone who cleans gutters. Now, we've been meaning to have the gutters cleaned for months and months and months, and it just always, as soon as you think, oh yeah, we need to do that, it's gone again. You know, life gets in the way, it doesn't happen. So when that dropped through the door, I'm like, yes, right, let's get on the phone and let's get this sorted. So now my gutters will be sparkling clean by tomorrow evening. It doesn't matter what that service is, it's exactly the same. They'll still be using social media, they're still using print media, they're still getting in front of people, they're selling cleaning gutters of all things. And they could have upsold because I need some roof work doing, but they don't do that. So okay, I'm going to carry on. All right. So do have a look at that guide. If you don't have a printer, just write down the salient points in a notebook and then make your ideas next to it. But I want everybody to pick one product or one service that they are going to promote for next week. So starting next Monday, what is the thing that you want to feature? I want everyone to pick something and put it into the chat right now. And I'll hold you accountable. Sometimes we do need a little bit of accountability, but it comes from love, not from nastiness. Okay, so what have we got? Okay, brilliant, a gardener's soap. I do know it's a perfect time of year because we were looking at our garden earlier, and it's a bit like the gutters. We're north facing at the back of our house, so everything gets covered in this moss and all sorts of bits and pieces, and it just needs a good tidy up. We've got leaves and bits of branches everywhere, and you just think, oh, but you know, it's amazing when you get out there and you start transforming everything ready for the spring. We've got crocuses all out the front of the house right now. All of the green in front of the house is just covered. It's carpeted in beautiful crocuses. And that always tells me that spring is knocking on the door. And that means everyone's going to be spring cleaning, everyone's going to be wanting to get out in their gardens. So right now is the perfect time to be doing things like balms and scrubs and gardener's soaps and things like that, so that when they come in and the hands are all filthy dirty, they can be using those products to exfoliate the skin and get them nice and clean and antibacterial too. So that's absolutely perfect. Tanya says a top to toe balm. I've tried Tanya's balm and it is absolutely stellar. It's a gorgeous balm. People are going to be lining up for that. Gillian says amethyst Buddha beads. It's coming Pisces. You see how you're taking a different theme entirely with the Buddha beads, and they are beautiful. I've been on Gillian's website and they are gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. So that's perfect. You could think about birthdays or specific themes within the year as well. You know, we've just had Valentine's Day, we've got Mother's Day, and we've got Easter coming up. So think about what are you going to put together for those as well. It doesn't have to be a new product. You could package something together, whether that's, you know, a Mother's Day service for people. It could be, if you were a spa owner, it could be a spa day ticket, or, you know, a new hairstyle or something like that. Or if you're a digital marketer, then you want to be out there promoting your services to people and saying, come on, Mother's Day is coming up. What do you need? How can I help you to actually prepare for all of that? And then be helping them get all of their copy ready, get all of the print stuff done, all of the other bits and pieces that you could be selling as a service. Great. So everybody now, don't worry if you haven't got things set up. Honestly, Tina, that's absolutely fine. But at least take a product, even if it's not there yet, just do it in the kind of context that I've done something like, you know, a new spring variety of a product, and then go through this as if you just created that so that you can actually do the exercise. Okay. Okay, has everybody got their Chat GPT set up? Because I would love to dive in and show you how easy it is going to be for you to be able to generate this. And Jackie, yes, your decorated cream eggs. Jackie does the most beautiful confectionery and things. Oh, it's absolutely, I don't know how she does it all. It's like little pieces of miracle work, but they're gorgeous and I do like eating them. Absolutely, yes. Okay, so if you've got your Chat GPT, get it up on the screen and we are going to dive in. I will show you first what we're going to do. And I think it's that one that I need. We'll soon find out. Okay, so let me move this again. Why is it always in the wrong place? I've got too many tabs open is actually why. All right, so I'm going to open ChatGPT, and this is the brief that I've put in. Now, this is a little bit more advanced. So for the first prompt, I want you to be really generic, because sometimes when you're quite generic, it can actually sometimes come up with some pure pieces of gold and go in a direction that you might not have taken it. And I like always doing something on a generic level first, just to see if it's got any little nuggets that kind of inspire me or make me think of new ideas. So the first thing I'd like you to do is to just type in something like, write a content brief about my whatever it is, nothing else, just give it that content. So whatever the actual product is that you're making, ask it to write a content brief about, and then type that in. So let me go to a new one. So you'll have a screen up like this, and we're going to write a content brief about. How about someone who hasn't got ChatGPT open right now. Sean, I can't actually do both at once. Could you tell me if there's someone who hasn't been able to open ChatGPT right now, but they have a product that they'd like to do, could they pop it into the chat and I will do theirs as an example while we're on? Or just someone unmute yourself and just call it out.
Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
Oh, I got my chat thing up, but
Yeah.
now you've gone onto a big screen, so I've lost it because once I opened mine up, you disappeared, and I went back to so I could say something because I can't find it now.
Okay, that's fine. So why don't you tell me? So we're going to write a content brief about what's the product?
A lemon soap.
Okay, a lemon soap. So this is as absolute generic as we can go. We haven't put handmade soap. We haven't put a description about the lemon. We've literally just put, write me a content brief about a lemon soap, and I'm going to hit enter. And it's this little kind of flying thing that we click, and it's just going to write it. So it says title. So we didn't ask it specifically for a title, but it is literally creating a content brief. So it's putting everything in. The title is Zesty Clean. Experience the refreshing benefits of lemon soap. It's saying that our target audience is individuals who prioritize using natural and eco-friendly personal care products, specifically those who seek cleansing and refreshing benefits from their soap. I mean, come on. All we said was write me a brief about lemon soap, and look what it's already come up with. Are you seeing how much it's writing here? Just from that couple of words, it's telling you all about the product, all about the people who are ideal for this product, the message that you should be using, the key features, and even the tone of voice. And then it's gone on to give you key points to include in your post. Now, you might not put all of this in one post, but it gives you material to sprinkle out all week about that one product. Or you could use some of this in your website or marketing in other ways. So let's move on and have a look. So the key message is, our lemon soap is a refreshing and invigorating natural soap option. Now, I wouldn't call the word option. And this is where you're going to have to go through, read things through and make it sound in the way that you want it to be. So if you use the word option there, absolutely use it. I would never use the word soap option, so I'd delete that. You can't delete it on the screen, but when you copy and paste this into a Word document or a Google Doc or something like that, you can just tidy it up then and add some of your own words. So it's an invigorating natural soap that provides an exceptional clean while nourishing and rejuvenating the skin. Absolutely. Made with all natural ingredients and a tangy lemon scent, it delivers an invigorating sensory experience that will leave you feeling fresh and energized. I mean, come on, that's perfect. How long would it take you to sit and come up with that yourself from scratch? I know one of the things that's so hard sometimes is to stare at a blank piece of paper or a blank screen and even start that writing process. So if all of this does is to just inspire you, and then you go off on, you know, in your own world and take it to where you want in your own words, great. But this isn't using anyone else's words. It's generated this as a unique text for you. And then it goes on to the key features. We've got 5 great unique features there. And then it's saying that the tone should be informative, conversational and engaging, highlighting the natural and refreshing benefits of the soap. Great. So now you know how to you're not trying to be a university professor. You're not trying to be stilted. You're just having a conversation with your friends. And I think that's, if you do this type of of service anyway. If you're selling handmade products, it is about you literally imagining that you're talking to a friend. What would you say about your products if you were talking to them? Now, if you're selling a professional service, that's a little bit different. And you might want to actually put that it's a professional service. But look at this content, and then it's telling you what your call to action should be. The content should be clear and include a call to action to encourage the audience to try the lemon soap. Include a discount code or a link to the product page on a website where the soap can be purchased, and encourage the readers to share their experience with others and promote the benefits of natural and eco-friendly personal care products. So right there, whether you do one of those things or whether you do all of them, you've got some absolute gems there that you can use over and over again. And that, all of that was just from the tiniest little line. But you can be far more specific than this, and you can actually start priming the chat GPT with specific information about your brand. And the more that you give it context to your specific scenario and the uniqueness of your company, the more it will make the content tie completely to your brand. So if you were a farmer, or your husband was a farmer, and you were making beautiful products using the farm produce, then you could put elements of that in, and it would create all of this context based around the fact that you ran a farm and that you're using farm produced ingredients in there. Is everyone following along with me okay so far? Any questions?
Could I ask one, please?
Absolutely.
Is all natural? Can you use those words with melt and pour?
Well, it's a bit of a hard one. Are you using a natural base? There are natural melt and pour bases. There are also organic bases. And then there are fully certified organic bases. So if you're using a natural base, yes. If you're using an organic base, yes. If it's Soil Association accredited organic, yes. If you're not using a natural base, then no, I wouldn't say that it's all natural. But you can also forget about that entirely and focus on the elements which are natural. So you don't need to say it's all natural. You can say using natural botanicals, using essential oils, using natural colorants, whatever you have got in there that's natural, you can focus on them. Does that help?
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Has anybody created their own? And what did you think? What came out on yours? You might not always get a full thing like this. Yours might be completely different, but it should have some really good nuggets to help you.
Sarah,
Yes.
I requested the description of the Gartner soap, and then I asked for the content brief, and it just was amazing. The
It
things
was
that
good.
oh wonderful. I'm
Okay.
loving this. I'm really loving this.
I'm telling you,
Thank you.
it's going to blow you. These 4 weeks are going to transform your business.
Yeah,
It is just mind-blowing.
my business to be still, but yeah,
Oh, good.
it will help me a lot.
Oh, it
That's
will.
it.
Well, it can help you set your entire business up from scratch.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you ever get stuck and you're ever like, what can I do with it? How do I use it?
Yeah.
You just have to ask it.
Yeah, today, for example, I thought, how am I going to save this conversation? And I didn't know, so I asked, what happens if I log out? Will I lose the conversation? And the AI and the chat replied, yes, you will lose the conversation, but you can do one thing. You can save the link, go up and save the link wherever you want. And then when you get back, you just put in the link and you'll have the conversation again. So it's another way.
It is. And actually, once you've registered your account, even on the free accounts, once you've properly registered it
Yeah.
on the system, when you come in the next time, it's normally, the chats are normally on the left-hand side in the little menu, and you can
Mhm.
you can just click back into them.
Oh, okay.
But what I do, because you never know,
Yeah.
and I have
Yes.
seen when they've done updates before where they've just disappeared on people,
Yeah.
not for me, thankfully, but other people I've seen. So what I do is I literally highlight the whole thing and I copy it. And
Exactly.
then I go into a Word doc or a
Yeah.
Google doc, or even I have a Mac. So I've got
Yeah.
notes, little notepad,
Yeah.
and I just create a new note and I just drop it in. So I make sure
Yeah.
I've got a copy of everything. Now,
Exactly.
I haven't mentioned this, but there is, because I don't want you paying for things unless you have to. I want the money in your pocket, not in other people's pockets. But there is a paid plan that you can pay for. It was called Pro, and I think it's called Plus now. They keep changing things.
Plus, I think it's plus. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's $20 a month. Now, if you're doing service-based businesses and you're going to use this a lot, it probably is worth your while upgrading at some point when you can see that you're using it in lots of different ways and you're like, this is a tool I just can't live without. Then you might want to upgrade. But they have said that they are going to always have a free plan available. So it is slower. It's not as fast as on the paid one. And there are times when you're going to go into it and it's going to say it's full at capacity and you can't come in. And you'll think after a while that the world has ended when that happens, and it'll break your heart. You'll be like, what? But don't worry, because if you just keep refreshing on the search bar, after a few times or a few minutes, it normally lets you back in. You've just got to be a little bit patient. And also be careful with the times, because when the West Coast of America all come online, that's when you can't get in. So think about the times that you're going on. Think about when they're all getting home from work or waking up, and you know there's going to be a big surge in people when that happens. So go out of those times and you really shouldn't have too many problems getting in. But one of the features on the paid plan is that they have something called share and export. And you can actually take the entire thing and it pretties it up and makes it into a perfect PDF for you. And then you can export it straight onto your desktop or share it with somebody else. So if you're working with a team, you can literally click the button and send it to, a colleague, or you can send it to a virtual assistant who's working for you, whoever, your husband. Whoever, and it's great, because when you cut and paste, you've got little bits of code in there and little kind of boxes, and you have to tidy it up and mess around. When you click on the share and export, it's just a really nice clean PDF, and it's all tidy and neat, and you don't have to spend time doing it. And time is money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely don't need to do anything else.
Few people mentioned how they loved your descriptions that came out of your system, because when they tried it, they didn't get quite as much information. It's because you built yours up a little bit, haven't you?
The more that you use it, the more context it will take on for your brand, the types of products that you're writing about. And we call it priming. So I'm going to show you another example. No, I don't want to do that. Why am I doing that? I want to do that instead. So let me go to here. I'm going to share my screen again. So so that wasn't the one. Can everyone see the screen now?
Yeah.
Cool. So I have another one, which I did, which has more information in at the top. So on this one, I put a slightly different prompt in. And with the last one, we just said, write me a content brief about lemon soap. Absolutely the smallest amount possible. Here, I've changed it up. I said, write me a content brief. And I've put content brief rather than social media post, because I want more information. I want to see what information has it got right at the beginning. I want to know what little gems is it going to give me? What directions will it go that I haven't thought of? So that's why I'm wanting more information in there. I might want to know what's a good title that I can use for this. I might suck at coming up with titles. So I can get it doing all of that for me. Did someone say something? No? Okay.
Sarah,
So, yeah.
sorry, how do you save it?
You don't save it. It's saved automatically into your chat box. So can you see here on the left-hand side? So these are all of the previous chats that I've had.
Okay.
All on the left there. But you've got to make sure that you've opened your OpenAI account up and that you are actually in there properly, and then it will pop up here. And that's why I always recommend that you still cut and paste everything that you do into a Google Doc or a Google Sheet or whatever you're using, a notepad or something, just to make sure you don't ever lose all of this. And it does have buttons for you to delete them. I would not delete anything.
No,
Anything, because I've seen people delete stuff that was absolute gold for them. So until you run out of space, which I've not seen anyone do yet, just don't, just leave them alone.
Well, I clicked it to see what would happen, and it did. It got rid of it all.
Exactly.
And there's no way you can get it back.
You can't get it back then.
Somebody's asking, does it work well if you use a load of bullet points first?
Yeah, you can put bullet points in, but you can also ask it to write bullet points for you, or you can ask it to do a numbered list, or you can ask it to do a checkbox list. So you can tell it, if you can describe it in words, it can probably do it for you. So here, it's actually done it, and it's given me 5 reasons, and it's done it in a numbered list. But let's have a look at this one, because I want you to start thinking about how you can prime it. And we can put a lot more context in than this about your business, but the more it understands about your specific brand and what makes you unique, your USP, the more it can infuse that into what it's writing. So I've said, write a content brief about my new spring soap called Spring Fresh. Our Spring Fresh soap is made with wonderful, nourishing olive oil and mango butter and scented with a bright, fresh citrus essential oils, including bergamot and orange. So I wanted to give it context so it understands what it's called. It's a spring soap, so it's a seasonal soap. I'm featuring 2 ingredients that I want them to talk about, or that I feel are important about the product. And I'm giving it some context about the scent, letting it know that it's essential oils, but I'm not putting all of the, every single essential oil in that blend, because sometimes when you're in business, you don't want everybody seeing everything that you put into your blends. They're what makes your brand unique. So you might want to focus on a couple of the elements in your essential oil blend, but not put your entire recipe out there for everybody. So here we've created a bright, fresh citrus scent, and it includes bergamot and orange. Now, if you want to put them all out there, feel free. But sometimes holding back on a little bit of information can be really, really helpful. And then I've said on a separate line, so I'm giving it context, but I'm not trying to put everything into one sentence. I'm helping it understand who I am, what the product is, and some features. And then I'm telling it what I want it to do with that information on different lines. And the way that we return is to use the shift and return together, and then that will take it onto a separate line without actually putting it up there as a prompt. So I've said, write a compelling title based on the content brief. Write a PAS description. Now, a PAS description, if you're not into marketing, you might not know what a PAS is, but PAS stands for problem, agitate, and solution. So we want to create a problem that they might have, agitate that in their mind, so they think, oh my goodness, yes, that is a problem that I have. I do need to solve that. And then you give them the solution for that problem. You don't have to use a PAS. You could put any description in that you want there. And there are others as well, like ADA, BAB and many, many others in the marketing world that you could use. Or you can just say what you want it to focus on. Use real words as if you're just talking to a friend. And then add the following call to action. I want to enter code SPRING for a 10% discount at checkout. So I'm telling it not just to create a call to action, but I'm telling it what I want the call to action to be. So it builds it in. So here it's given me the title, Introducing Spring Fresh Soap, Revitalize Your Skin with the Aromas of Spring. Brilliant. And the PAS description, you would get rid of where it says problem, agitation, and solution, and you just have the text. So it says, your skin feels dry and dull after the long winter months, and you want a soap that can provide the nourishment it needs to feel soft and refreshed. With our Spring Fresh soap, you can give your skin the care it deserves. This soap is made with nourishing olive oil and mango butter to help replenish and hydrate your skin. The fresh and bright citrus essential oils of bergamot and orange will invigorate your senses and leave you feeling energized and ready to take on the day. Not only will your skin feel revitalized, but you'll also enjoy the refreshing aroma of spring. Try Spring Fresh soap today and enter code SPRING for 10% off at checkout. Give your skin the nourishment it deserves and start your day feeling refreshed and renewed. I mean, how much would you have to pay to someone to write that for you? And you can now put these in for every single product that you do, and you can create a new one every time that you're doing a promotion for it. It keeps all of your content fresh and new and really exciting for somebody. Who loved that?
Oh, love it. It's
It's
fabulous.
so good, isn't it, Trina?
Oh, do you know what? Sorry, when I was reading your stuff, but then I put in there because I'm doing, you know, the candles with the wax melts of flowers.
Yeah.
So I asked it to describe it in a video form. It was fabulous. It did the whole narrative, like the scene's going to come dark, then you're going to come in with a family, then you're going to describe that, you know, the bouquet of flowers in a candle, you can keep it, you don't have, it was fabulous, but it went like narrative, the scene, perfect. You don't have to use the whole thing. You could use it as clips and do a little reel.
And
What
it
an absolutely
literally
idea.
does. If you're doing videos, or even if you're doing like product photography for your products, let's say you were doing a blog post and you needed images, it will literally tell you what images to take, how you should style them, and where to put them in the post. And it will give you a full narrative. If you're wanting a video, it will give you the full narrative of what the shot should look like, how to create engagement and movement and keep that interest all of the way through the video. It is genius. My jaw hit the floor the first time I saw that, because I hadn't asked for it, and it spat the narrative out as well, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. It's brilliant. When you were reading it, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Like, it tells you about the camera moving and where to put it over the wax melts and all of that. Fabulous.
Absolutely
fabulous.
Absolutely. It's like having 10 people working for you. And it's, you know, if you get stuck, just ask it. It will know. And if it, you know, or it will tell you where to go to find out. It's just phenomenal. So what I want you to do, I'm going to put this prompt, or I'll call it out as well, but I want to put this prompt up on the screen. And I want all of you, if you can, and if not, I'll do one with somebody on the screen as well. But I want you to go through and put some of this context in for yourself. So rather than just saying, you know, create a content brief about lemon soap, let's take it further. So write a content brief about whatever your product or service is, and then expand, give it some context, give it some information about that service, about the product itself. What makes it unique? What makes it stand out? Why should someone be interested about it?
Sarah, one of the questions is, how do they start a new line? They missed that point. Now, the thing is, you still want to stay within this particular chat because you're building.
Yeah. So what you don't want to do is to, can you see up here, it says new chat. If you're doing one product, you do not want to keep going to new chat. If we're talking about this one product, stay on this chat and just keep adding at the bottom, because it then takes context from everything that we've done above and it makes it far more refined. Every time you go to a new chat, you've basically got to start teaching it all over again. Now, if you are doing a completely different product, absolutely, you can put it into the new chat box up on the top left-hand side where it says the plus.
Hi, Sarah.
Yes, yes.
It was actually me that asked that question. And it was when you were writing your content brief
Yes.
and you got to Bergamot and Orange, and then you said how you got from that to like a new...
To move it down so it's on a
Yeah.
different line.
Yeah.
So I use shift and enter.
Shift and enter.
Shift and return, shift and enter at the same time. So hold your shift button down and then
Yeah.
press enter, and it should go down a line so you can carry on writing without actually flipping the prompt up onto the screen.
Yeah, it's just I was looking at something that you were talking about and I just missed that. I heard you say it, but it didn't go into my head.
Yeah.
Second question was the word nourishment came up, and they were asking about, is this a claim, and how can you work with that?
I'm not going into what's a claim and what's not a claim, because I'm working with people all over the world. So some of the people can make claims, some of the people can make absolutely no claims at all. Some of them can't even use the actual ingredients and have that as part of the name of the product. So you will have to abide by whatever your regulations are for your area and what you're comfortable with as your business itself. And everybody, even the word natural, everybody has a different version of what natural is. And this is where you're going to have to take this and then make it fit what you would normally write about. So if you wouldn't call them nourishing oils, what would you call them? It could be just the word delicious, you know, with delicious olive oil and mango butter. So you can play around with it. You don't have to just take this as it is, as it comes out, and keep it like that. You can infuse your own personality and your own flair into that as well if you want to.
Sarah, I have a question.
Mhm.
What is priming?
So priming is where we're adding context. So what we're
okay.
basically doing is, rather than it having to guess what you're meaning, we're giving it specific context about
okay.
your brand, your product, your business, whatever it is. The more information that we can give it about this, we're not writing a book here, but relevant information that it can pull on, that it can then create better content around your specific product or user case.
Okay, thank you.
That's a really good point, yes. Any others before we actually dive in and create one of these? Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
So we're going to put in again, write a content brief about. Does anyone want me to do one for them?
Okay.
Does anyone not have ChatGPT open and would like me to run one for them?
For the, like for a brief?
Yep.
Could you do the bouquet of flower, a bouquet of wax melt flowers?
Okay. So write a content brief about, does it have a name?
No, I just called it a bouquet of wax melt flowers.
Okay, so a bouquet of wax melt flowers. Why am I not typing? Write a content brief about a bouquet of wax melt flowers. Okay, so we need some context. So this beautiful bouquet is made from, what kind of wax do you use?
Soy.
Okay, it's made from, is it pure soy?
Golden wax.
Okay, so
Is that pure?
we'll just put soy wax. We'll put this beautiful bouquet is made from soy wax, and give me some context. What does it smell like?
A whole bunch of different things.
Okay.
Say
And smells like a summer
Great.
garden in
Yeah.
blue. How about that? Just
perfect.
let's just go with that. It'll probably do a better job than me, I assure you. But at least we're starting it off. We could put information in there about the packaging that it comes in. So if you've got a specific packaging, a specific jar, a specific box, whatever it is, you can put that
We
in.
can put
If you were doing a service, then is that part of a bundle of other things? You know, is it a standalone thing? Is it something that you can expand for them with other services? You can add on and put additional information in here.
Okay.
Let's give it some information and features, notes of jasmine and
Lavender.
lavender. There you go. So we're giving it some proper context, and then I'm going to hit Shift and Enter to go down a line, and I'm going to say write a I don't necessarily want a, well, let's just do a PAS anyway. We can do a PAS, a description for our, what was it again? Bouquet
Okay.
of wax melt flowers. And we want a title, don't we, as well? Shall we ask it for a better title? So write a compelling, well, let's do catchy. You can change the words around, title for this item. Write a PAS, taking into account the product brief. So asking it to specifically look at that information and then add the following call to action. So what would the call to action be that you want?
Message me if they're interested.
Okay. Message me. To purchase this perfect gift. Okay. And then we just click the little button and off it goes. So the catchy title is Summer Garden in Bloom, Wax Melt Flower Bouquet to Refresh Your Home. The problem is your home might not smell as fresh and floral as you want. Ooh, I'm not so happy about that one. And you're looking, your house smells bogging. You need this product.
That might actually sell.
It might. It's certainly a pain point. It's a perfect solution to add a touch of natural freshness to your living space. The soy wax used in the bouquet provides a longer lasting fragrance, and the flowers make it an elegant and attractive decorative piece that will brighten up any room. So it's missing the mark a little bit here because it's thinking that the flowers are part of the bouquet. It's not understanding that these are, you know, the scent. So I need to be more specific about the fact that this is a scent rather than the flowers. And this is where we go back and we just tweak it a little bit to get it where we want it to be. And the call to action, message us to purchase the perfect gift for yourself or your loved ones, and let our wax melt flower bouquet fill your home with the refreshing and invigorating scent of a summer garden in bloom. So it's understood the context that we wanted, but I would just change a little bit. It's getting hung up on the word bouquet.
Okay.
So I would just play around and change it, but it didn't do a bad job at all, did it?
No, no, not at all.
So what did everybody else get? Has anyone else got a little gem that came out of that? And did you all manage to find a way to expand and prime your prompt at the beginning so that it's more personal to your specific brand or service?
Mm.
Is there anyone who got stuck and needs any help? Do not sit and think, oh my goodness, I can't ask, or I feel stupid. The only people who are stupid are the people who are not asking for help, because I'm here to help you, Sean's here to help you, and this whole community are behind you, wanting you to succeed as well. We're all starting at the beginning, and hopefully we can all go on and create some absolute treasures. So don't hold back. If you've got a question, let's go for it.
Sarah, can I just read the call to action?
Yes, please.
Don't wait to experience the benefits of Gardener's soap for yourself. Order now and receive a 10% discount when you buy 3 or more bars. Simply add the soap to your cart and enter the code GARDEN10 at checkout and redeem your discount. Try it today and see why Gardener's soap is a must-have for anyone who loves spending time in the garden. I think this is brilliant.
Boom! I mean, oh my goodness.
I am.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, it's
Now
wonderful.
you could take that, just that one call to action
Yeah,
could be something that you put up, not as your main post,
yeah,
but because what you want to do, you don't want every single post and every single day being buy my product, buy
Yeah.
my product.
sure.
And this is what I see people doing when they first start on social media. They're like, oh my God, I have to put something up. And then they go up and they just stick a photo up and it's buy this product, it's this price. And it's like, you haven't told me anything about the product. I know no reason.
Exactly.
Why should I buy it? I know nothing about it at all. There's no connection. I've no idea who you are. You know, it means nothing. And they're not
Yeah.
going to keep coming back and looking at all of your stuff all of the time if that's all you're delivering. You're
Yeah.
not there just to sell. You're delivering a service, and that goes much, much further than just selling.
Yeah.
So I like to do it where, let's say Monday morning, people have gone through the weekend, Monday morning, they're ready to buy. They're searching the internet. It's a big, busy day for makers on a Monday because they're all at work. They don't want to be at work. So they're all surfing the internet, trying to find things to buy rather than doing the work.
Yeah.
So that's when there's a big boom in sales. So Monday is the day that you put your sales promotion up, whatever it is that you're featuring that
Monday.
week, you're telling them about. Boom, Monday morning, start with something that's telling them about that particular product or that particular offer. Now, that doesn't mean that's the only time that you can promote it or sell it, but you don't want that all week. So we want things like the behind the scenes texts as well, because that's going to help them understand you, about the fact that this is a handmade product. It's made locally. It's got all of these wonderful benefits from it.
Yeah.
And that helps them to make a decision about the product and understand who you are. Now, they might still not buy straight away. They might already have loads of soap. But now you're on their radar. They're like, oh, she's making these lovely soaps. And then when you start adding in these human elements and you start just chatting to them when you're on the phone, taking the dog for a walk, or you've gone out hiking and you're showing them the local area, now they've got context about who you are and where you live, and you're letting them into your world in a little way. They're connecting with you as a person. And the reality is, people do not buy products, they buy experiences and they buy connections. So if you're just hammering products left, right, and center, you're going to get absolutely nowhere. But when you start inviting them in and allowing them to become part of that process, you will sell far, far, far more. So a great way to do this is when you're doing behind the scenes, have video footage of you making the soap, that particular soap that you are featuring that week. And it doesn't have to be live. It can be a pre-recorded little snippet that you put up of when you were making it, but it ties everything together. And even better are the people who actually do that, and they might do a video clip partway through the week of them making it, and then a day or two later they'll do a video clip of them cutting the soap. People love watching you making and cutting.
Yeah.
It's not a lesson, you're not teaching them how to make soap. You're just chatting with them as you're doing things and giving them little snippets of information. But then when you're cutting it, so when you're making, you'll say, I'm going to come back on Thursday and I'll cut the soap with you. Come back and check in with me. Now they've got a reason to come back to your site. On Thursday, when you're cutting the soap, you're telling them about maybe the scent profile. You're talking to them about maybe how they could use that product for a gift for somebody. Because half the time people can't conceptualize how they can use a product. So we've got someone on who's doing beautiful jewelry pieces, for example. Now, she mentioned earlier that that would be perfect for this new star sign coming out. But most people wouldn't think that until you said it. But as soon as you actually say, actually, we've got these in, this is going to be our featured product, you know, for this week or even the month, if you want to, however long it's going to be. And then you explain, this is perfect. We're coming into such and such a time in the calendar. All of the Pisces people out there, this is your stone. And then you start explaining how this would be the perfect gift for anybody under that star sign. Tell them what the dates are for that star sign, because if it's not theirs, they probably don't know. But then they're like, oh, well, my sister has her birthday in that month. This will be perfect for her. So now you're helping them to connect with your product in a different way, and they've got reasons to then think about buying it rather than just, here's my product. Is everyone following along with me here? Yeah? So when you cut that soap, they've maybe seen you make it, they might come back and see you cut it. When you're cutting it, you've got to tell them, when is that soap going to be available on sale?
You build interest.
Because now they've followed that particular soap batch from it being made. They've seen it being made, they've seen it being poured into the mold, they've seen it being cut and coming out from the blankets, and they're all excited and they can't wait to buy a bar. So they need to know, what date is that going on sale in your Etsy store or on your website or wherever it is that you're selling it, and you make sure that they know. And then you can follow up again and put another post up later in the week saying, don't forget, this soap will be on sale on this date. So they're like, oh yeah. Because you've got your main posts that you put up one a day, but you can sprinkle other little pieces in the afternoon, maybe little extra teasers. So you said about that little call to action, we wouldn't make a whole post just on that as a key piece of information, but that would be perfect a few days after you've done the main feature with that sales promotion, and pop that out maybe as an early afternoon post. Pop it up at lunchtime when everyone's going on their lunch break, and that's going to pop up on their feed, and it's reminded them that you've got that offer up, and it's a specific call to action with a discount code. Boom, right there on the phone. So then they're not having to read the whole thing. It's just reminding them about that one snippet. Has this given everybody some ideas of how they can take it forward?
Could I ask a question, please? And
I wish you would.
you know, the call to the action, and you said about the discount code. Well, at the moment, my website's not live. It nearly is, but not quite. So I mainly do Meta Business Suite, and I'm doing what you kind of said not to do, really, is just put a picture of the soap, and I do describe the scent, the fragrance, but that's about it, really. So how would I put a code onto that? And I say that they could buy from me from messaging me or texting me. And I'm not successful at this at all.
And
Nothing's
you're exactly in the place that you are right now. And you know what? There are going to be tons of other people in exactly that same position. So don't feel that, oh my God, I've been doing it all wrong. Even the people who've been doing it years don't get it all right, you know, they really don't. But the thing is, we're trying to move the needle, we're trying to improve it. So you're already doing something that's massive, because a lot of people never even start. So don't worry about you've not been doing all of the things. You made the start. That's a brave move in itself. But now you've got a little bit more context, and you've got some fabulous tools that are going to help you. So now it's not going to be as stressful for you, and you can start thinking about how to do it. And you do not need a big, fancy, expensive website to be doing this at all. You can literally just use something like your Facebook group, and literally just put up, until Sunday night, there's going to be 10% off. DM me if you're interested in the products, or whatever it is. Make it a nice call to action so that they actually take a positive action. But they can DM you. They can just private message you, and then they'll get the 10% off if it's before whatever time on Sunday night. You could do a flash sale that's only available for 48 hours. And you just tell them to DM you, and you'll honour that. You're not going to sit there watching the clock every single minute saying, no, you were 2 minutes too late. You're going to be, yay, I got a sale.
and all this information that this thing's telling us, is that is that too much information to put on a Facebook page?
No, no. So what you can do is, ChatGPT is really, really clever. So one of the things that we can actually get it to do, yes, you're back on my screen. So what we can actually get it to do is we can say, so make this, you can just put make this, you don't have to put content brief because it already has the context. It's really clever, it knows. Make this suitable for a Facebook post. And it will write it up, sure thing. Here's a version of the product description that will be suitable for a Facebook post. So it writes out the whole thing. And now when it's writing it out in the perfect number of characters for a Facebook post. It's taking, it's taking all of the main elements that you want to get in there, but it's making sure that it's optimized for Facebook. And then I can say to it, really clever here, so I can just say, give me the hashtags for Facebook. Sure. So it still knows the context. It still knows that it's the wax melt flower bouquet that we're talking about. And it gives me the hashtags, but it'll go further in a second. Here we go. Remember to use hashtags that are relevant to your post and brand, and that your target audience is likely to search for. You can use up to 30 hashtags per Facebook post, but using too many can look spammy. So aim for 3 to 5 relevant hashtags per post. It's giving you the information right there. And then you can look at this list and say, okay, I need 3 to 5, which are going to be the best ones for my customers or my brand. Yeah. Now let's say that you weren't on Instagram. Give me the post for Instagram and include the hashtags. So we can actually put it all in one sentence if we want to. So it knows exactly what we're talking about, but now it's going to post it specifically for Instagram and the requirements on Instagram. So a nice short post for Instagram, but far more hashtags. So it's going to write all the hashtags, and then it will tell you that you can use far more. And it will again give you the context and the information that you need to put this up. So whichever platform you're on, whether you're on TikTok and you're dancing all over the place, I've seen
That's
people
brilliant.
go on there only when they're drunk. So be careful. People people do weird things when they've had a drink. But it says, you know, you're going to use more hashtags, but up to 30, 5 to 10 it recommends per post on here, whereas on the Facebook one it was 3 to 5 hashtags. So it's more hashtags, but make them relevant to the post, and it's giving you plenty to choose from. So you don't
Diagram.
have to pay for expensive hashtag programs and software on your phone to find hashtags. It knows what the right hashtags are for that post and your type of business, and it will find them all and give them to you. And if you wanted more and you didn't feel they were the right ones, you could ask it specifically for, so we could put only use hashtags specific to wax melts. And then it will just start spitting out the ones that are specific to wax melts only, not the other elements of home fragrancing or other bits and pieces.
Would it's not going to give you the ban ones from Instagram, are they?
What do you mean by banned ones?
Well, there's hashtags that are banned.
Well, only normally if you are inciting violence, criminality, or some other type of thing that shouldn't be on there.
Well, I did one which was hashtag vegan, just vegan.
Yeah.
And the one that I used on hashtag vegan, when I went up onto a hashtag, you know, like company that, or whatever it's called IQ hashtags. Anyways, it said it was banned.
I can't believe that vegan is banned.
That either could I.
I'm going to check now. Instagram. If I spelt it right. And then let's see if we can search. Can you just have a look at Cookie, Sean?
Yep.
Pound sign, hashtag vegan, and let's see. There are 125 million posts under the hashtag vegan. So it's definitely not banned.
Banned. Isn't that funny? Because yeah, I didn't understand that, because when I did it for a recipe, it came back up and said it was banned. But I looked,
Yeah,
I put vegan.
You could do vegan recipe.
Yeah.
You know, so not just vegan, and you could put vegan product, vegan lovers.
But when you saw it, it was there, because that's where I did it, and yeah. That's
Definitely
shocking.
not banned.
Okay, perfect.
It might have just been having a moment.
Could be. I have lots of them.
Okay, so we're coming to the end. We've already been on for a while, and I'm very, very conscious that I know this is fascinating, but I don't want to steal all of your time. That is just as precious. I will cover those 2 questions in a second. So what I want you to do, my call to action to you, is to have a look at the 7-day plan that I put into that guide for you that's now up in your Facebook group. You're going to have all sorts of different guides, different little cheat sheets and prompt sheets. I want to give you as much information as I can during our time together. So I'll be sprinkling them all of the way through the 4 weeks. Make sure you're going to have access to that group on an ongoing basis. So don't worry if you've run out of ink and you're thinking, oh my God, they're going to disappear. They're not going to disappear. They will be there for you. And if you can't print them, you can write down the bits and pieces that are relevant to you. But there is going to be some really, really good content there. So please do keep checking in and making sure that you grab that content and see how you can use that to move yourself forward in some way. So I want you to go through that 7-day plan, take one product, and then create all 7 posts or more if you want to. When you've done the 7, if you feel like doing some more for another week, absolutely go for it and start building up a library or a bank of them, because what we want you to be doing by the end of this is to have an entire suite of content that's going to last you for a long period of time and teach you how to do all of the graphic elements that go with it, the imagery, and also how to schedule it so that it's already set up. And once you actually put it there and it's scheduled, you can get on with your life, and that post will just go up at the right time on the right day, and you can sit back and relax. Now, occasionally it doesn't happen. It's not the end of the world. If you see it hasn't gone out, you can go in, sort it out later, or miss a day. Nothing is going to burn down because you missed a day. But do you know what? When you've got a bank there of content, it takes such a load off of your mind, not panicking, not stressing about, oh God, I've got all of these things to do. You just won't need to. So if you're making products this week, I want you to be taking photos of every single element that you can. Take some little mini video clips. You need tons and tons and tons of pictures. Every angle, change little things that it's sitting on. I don't care. Take it out on a trip with you and stick it on a garden fence in the middle of the Dales. Whatever it is, you're going to need all sorts of photos. So start on now, putting all of that together. And then I'll show you a variety of tools, and I'll even show you some tools that will make the images of the soap, and they look just like real soap, but they're all artificially made, and they can act as fillers for you too, for inspiration on some of your posts, maybe about ingredients or other things too. Okay, let's finish off with the last couple of questions.
Jackie asked, I'm still struggling to get the next line change. This was back about 10 minutes ago.
Okay, did you manage to do that, Jackie?
No.
No?
No, I haven't managed to do it yet.
So
Every time I'm doing the control or the shift and enter or control and enter, and it's still just giving it as it's putting it up. It's not taking it down. Trying it all the time you've been talking, and I can't get it to work. Yeah,
because
I'll have to play about with it because I didn't get all of what you got on yours with the others.
okay,
Because it
well,
was
if you
just
can't split it up onto different lines, it will still understand the context. So do
No,
a full
no, it
stop and then a couple of
sorry, you broke up there. I did all that. I wrote it as a paragraph, but putting the full stops.
Yeah.
Even put a space, then again write the next, and no, it just came up with all just bullet points of descriptions or briefs. It didn't get I even put in the and nothing came up.
okay, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you send me even just a screenshot on on your phone? Just message it to me of what you're trying to put in, your actual prompt, and then I will do it at my end and see what comes out, and then I'll come back to you and kind of see if there's something that you put in there that's making it go a different route or something else. We'll have a look.
Tanya's saying it's shift and enter, not necessarily control, depending on your keyboard.
Yeah, hold your shift button down and then press the enter button.
Which one's the shift button?
The one with the arrow up.
For capital letters.
Yeah.
The one that you use for capital letters.
Yeah, and then it'll be new line. Shift
So
and new line or enter.
press the shift button down, and then whatever you use for return, for your return button, whether that's an enter button, a return button, whatever.
Let me have a look, see if I can do that. I'm sure I tried that. Right, so the shift button and new line. Ah, I did it then. Got it.
Fixed.
Different keyboards, different commands.
But you see, I'm sure I tried that because I was trying everything, but it didn't work. But obviously,
I was just going to say, don't make me come round there, Jackie.
if you notice, if I put further down, I'm coming to your house.
I was going to say, you're close enough that I can drive down there.
Oh no, you might spot me. They
Trina,
just like to call me a liar, that's all.
Do you know an app to make a video so you can schedule it? And some of you came back and also mentioned there is an app called Later or Later.
Mhm.
You might know another one as well for scheduling. I think we're doing that later in the week.
we're going to be doing scheduling as a whole section, so I'll try and get some different scheduling tools and other bits and pieces out, but it's quite difficult with some because not all of them are free, and I really want to try and give you as many free things as I can so that you're not spending a fortune. I want you making money, not spending money. So I will search for some tools for
And a
you.
final question.
Yeah.
If you haven't started the business yet and you therefore won't be posting real content to social media in real time, is there any way we can get feedback on our pretend posts?
I'd say put it into the social
Put it into
club,
the social group, you know, the
social
the
story.
Social Stars Facebook group.
Just say this needs some feedback. Here's
Yeah.
my presentation.
So what you can actually do is you can put like an accountability post up, and I would encourage all of you to actually put an accountability post up, and then every time that you're actually creating content for your business, you can actually put what you've been creating and what things have worked and what things you've struggled with, and it's going to really help you see how much you've developed over time. And it's not there to be judged by anybody. No one is going to care whether everything that you've done has been a complete failure or a complete success. This is a personal accountability thread, and it can be really, really helpful. I can see, you know, what you're doing. Other people can be spurred on by you actually taking action. So, you know, do think about doing that. And if you just want to post it there, that's absolutely fine. But I know there are several people who haven't started a business yet. So why don't you actually get ChatGPT to help you develop your business? So for one thing, you really, really want to be using social media from day one. So as soon as you've got any kind of inkling at all that you're going to be using it, you need to be putting stuff out there into the universe and letting other people see what you're doing. If you're thinking about a company name and you've got 5 company names and you can't make a decision, you'll procrastinate on that for months and it's going to keep holding you back. But you could ask ChatGPT, which of these 5 names that you're trying to think of, which one would be the best? Give it some context about what you want your business to be about, what your ethics are, etc., and ask it to tell you which would be the best one for your scenario. If you don't like what it says, ignore it and go with something different, but it'll allow you to maybe move forward and make that decision. Similarly, if you're thinking about your unique selling point, ask it what kind of unique selling points it thinks would fit your brand or suggest some for you. And you can pick and choose the ones that really fit and resonate with you. You can get it to help you with the names of your soap. Anything at all, you can ask it and it will help you. So right from day one, you can actually be using it as a tool to help you develop your brand. All of your website text you can use it for, your product descriptions, everything you can be using it for. And try and bring your audience along with you on this new discovery. You know, it's a whole new journey that you're going on building a business. It's something that most people would love to do and never have the balls to actually do. They will sit and look at everybody else living their dream, but they don't have the courage to actually do it themselves. But they love watching you do it. They love watching you planning and making decisions. So when you're designing labels, show them what you're doing. When you're trying to pick between different label styles, show them, put a poll up and get feedback from your potential customers in the future. Because the more that you engage with them, the more that you embrace them into this, they feel invested in that business. So they'll want you to succeed and they will be buying from you. Whereas if you squirrel everything away and spend 2 years building a business and a soap mountain a mile high that's cost you a fortune, and then you say, here it is, it's for sale. Why should they care? It means nothing to them. You didn't allow them in on any of the struggles you went through or any of the celebrations that you went through designing that. Now it's just a product. They can buy a product anywhere. Okay. Was that helpful? Did you enjoy
Mm.
today?
Could I ask a question? Just the last
course.
one. You know, when you said about cutting and pasting, if you cut and paste the description and the hashtags, will the hashtags remain?
Yeah, you
I
can.
mean, if you then put
Anything
option-
that's in your chat window, you can highlight the whole thing and then just cut and paste it into another document.
The hashtag is
Right.
just a symbol right in front of the phrase that you're copying that symbol across. Whether that hashtag actually goes anywhere is up to you. You know,
You don't
So you
need to use all of the hashtags. You're literally just copying and pasting things. It's just ideas at that point. So until you actually put that into a proper post in social media, it's just ideas and concepts for you. And you
Yeah.
can play around with that as much as you like. So is
Thank
everyone
you.
clear on what they're going to be doing this week? If you get stuck, come into the group. I'll be in there, Sean will be in there. If you know the answer and someone's asked a question, please feel free to answer. This is a community. I want everybody working together to help each other. We can only grow if we all work together. All right, have a wonderful week, everyone. I've already put that that planner up for you, and Sean is going to be loading another one. We've got a social media audit guide for you. It's got some planner pages in there as well, but it's a really good idea to do a little bit of an audit if you already have a social media site or several, and just go down and actually write what your stats are and the little bits and pieces right now at the beginning so that you can start monitoring them over time. So we'll put that up as well, and that will be in the Facebook group for you by tomorrow. Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Nice evening. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.